Assalamu alaikum everyone, this is Faris Al-Shubul and we will talk about the eukaryotic cell structure. So eukaryotic cells, firstly they are cells, which means they have a cytoplasm, and surrounding the cytoplasm they have the cell membrane, the plasma membrane. And they are called eukaryotic because firstly they have a true nucleus, which means they have a nuclear envelope surrounding the genetic material, and secondly because they have a membrane-bound organelles. So starting from the nucleus, going outward, I will mention what are the components, what are the structures of the eukaryotic cells, the plant cells and the animal cells. So both of these cells have a nucleus, right? This nucleus is formed by three components: the nuclear envelope or the nuclear membrane, the genetic material, and the nucleoplasm. The nucleoplasm is the gelatinous material that fills the nucleus. Inside the nucleus, we sometimes see a nucleolus. Going outside the nucleus into the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is the gelatinous material that fills the cell. Cytoplasm has two major components: the cytosol, which is the fluid, the semi-fluid part of the cytoplasm, and then we find the organelles. So the organelles are specialized subunits of the cell. These organelles are two types: the membrane-bound organelles and the non-membrane-bound organelles. So then membrane-bound organelles are those organelles that have their own membranes. They have membranes surrounding them, just like the plasma membrane and just like the nuclear membrane. So examples for membrane-bound organelles: we have the endoplasmic reticulum surrounding the nucleus, then we have the Golgi apparatus, we have the peroxisome, the lysosome, the mitochondrion, we have the vacuole in a plant cell, and we have the chloroplast in a plant cell. Okay, the non-membrane bound organelles, examples for them are ribosomes, is centriole, and the cytoskeleton. Now, reaching the cell membrane is a phospholipid bilayer that separates the what inside the cell from its surrounding. Outside the cell membrane, in a plant cell, they have a cell wall. It functions in rigidity, shape, and strength. But in animal cells, they don't want rigidity; they want movement. So they have cilia or flagella that help them move. So this is an overview of what I have just said. Note that most of the membrane-bound organelles are connected and function together and are dependent on each other. They are called the endomembrane system. Examples: endoplasmic reticulum, the Golgi apparatus, the lysosomes and peroxisomes, and the vacuoles. But the mitochondria and the chloroplast are not part of the endomembrane system. They function independently, they have their own DNA, and they are not part of the endomembrane system. Starting with the nucleus is considered the command center of the cell. It is made of three components: the nuclear envelope, the nucleoplasm, and the chromatin. The nuclear envelope is made of two layers, two membranes, the outer membrane and the inner membrane. Each membrane is composed of phospholipid bilayer, just like the plasma membrane. And the envelope has a nuclear pores. These pores allow materials to transfer between the nucleoplasm and the cytoplasm. The nucleoplasm is the gelatinous material that fills the nucleus. And lastly, the chromatin. The chromatin is the genetic material of the cell. It's made of DNA, histones, and non-histones. As you know, DNA is very long, and to fit inside the nucleus, it has to wrap itself يعني ينلف حول الهيستونز. So the DNA, histones, and non-histones form the chromatin. Now this chromatin, when the cell wants to divide, it's transformed into chromosomes, the characteristic X shape of the chromosome. So the chromatin and the chromosome both are the genetic material. Okay, the genome or the genotype is the complete collection of genes in an organism. One thing I missed, the outer membrane of the nuclear envelope is continuous with the endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum is usually just around the nucleus, and both the endoplasmic reticulum and the outer membrane of the nuclear envelope is continuous. It's just one membrane. Okay, moving on to the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is the gelatinous material that fills the cell. It's made of cytosol and organelles. The cytosol is the semi-fluid part. It's mostly water and dissolved enzymes. The organelles are either membrane-bound organelles or non-membrane-bound organelles.